We're back with the Behringer Flow 8 for a 2022 question and answer update. The questions we're looking at today are ones that come in regularly, common things that lots of people have had questions about, not just these specific viewers. If you've got questions, leave them below or on any of the previous videos on the channel about the Flow 8. Subscribe so you don't miss future videos like this, and leave a like here if you found this one helpful. Let's get into it. So the question from Alvin is, I can't send effects to monitor 1.2 if pre-fader is selected for my monitor 1.2. Can I send effects to monitor 1.2 and pre-fader on my monitor 1.2 sends? So let's have a look here. And the first step is you're going to want to make sure that you are on the most recent firmware. Use the Simply Put tool and download that and make sure that your app for your device and your mixer are on the most current versions. So we're going to go into routing here, and what you'll hear is if I bring up, let's see, if I bring up this microphone, hey, 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 you start to hear that in these speakers. It's going to probably feed back, but you'll start to hear that in these speakers, which I have a microphone on so you can hear in the video. Now, I'm sending a whole bunch of this microphone to the effects, but obviously we're not hearing that. That's right now only being routed out to the left-right. So we need to go in here to routing, and then over here on the effects, you can see I've got these speakers are being fed by monitor 1.2 out of the headphone jack. Monitor 1.2 is in pre-fade, and then if I select over here where effects are routed, I can select effects 1 to monitor 1. Hey, hey. Now we can go back to the effects and change the type. Hey, 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 and that is still pre-fade. Hey, 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 monitor 1. Hey, hey. So what you cannot do on the Flow 8 is change the effect sends themselves to pre-fader. Currently, those sends to the effects engines are only post-fader. I doubt this will ever change in the future on this mixer, but who knows? That may be where some of the confusion's coming from, so just remember those sends from your sources to the effects engines always post-fader on this mixer. The next question comes from Owen, and he asks, do you know if soloing sends the solo signal just to headphones like other mixers? Let's check it out. Here we have a sound bullet plugged into the main right output, and we're just using it as a little speaker here, and you can hear the main mix go up and down when I turn the main mix knob. The solo bus is routed from the headphone output to this computer speaker. So as you can see, when something is soloed, it routes to the phone's output only, not the main mix output. That type of routing would be typical for a control room output you might see on other mixers, but it isn't present here, so hopefully that helps. Next up, we have a really nice message from Damon, who says, your videos have really sold me on this mixer. It's insane how much they've packed into it at this price point. And then he goes on to talk more about that, which you can read. But I wanted to quickly say thank you to Damon for the message, but also clarify something kind of important. This channel isn't here to try to sell you anything. If a piece of gear fits your needs and a video here helps you figure that out, that's super awesome, and that's what it's all about. The affiliate links posted with some videos do offset a tiny bit of the cost of doing this, but it's certainly not the reason for making these videos. So no matter what a YouTube video says, please buy your gear from reputable dealers with good return policies in case the gear just isn't a great fit for you. It's really not possible to know everyone's specific needs, their experience level, or more importantly, what manufacturers are going to do with products in the future after we've covered something here. It's always great to hear when the videos are helpful though, so big thanks to Damon for the positive feedback. I hope you'll stay in touch, and forgive me for using your comment. I didn't mean to single you out specifically. Next up, Muhammad Ahmad asks, hi, how do you power this mixer? Great question. This is a very common question, and the answer is simply a 5-volt supply capable of 2 amps, and you need that to show up on a micro USB cable because that's the port we're going to use on the back. We've looked in other videos before about powering these from a USB battery pack, and that worked just fine. I'll link that below. Another common power question is, can you turn this mixer off, and how do you do that? And it's done by holding down the menu button, though that's more of a standby. We can see using a little meter that the mixer still draws just over 500 milliamps when it's in that standby mode. So if you are powering it off a battery, you want to be aware of that. Overall power draw in use with this mixer is affected by how bright you set the backlight, if you're using phantom power, Bluetooth, etc. So your mileage will vary depending on what you're specifically doing with it. So be sure to test before you take it out in the field depending on battery power, but it is very light power draw and works really well in that kind of scenario. So that's just a few of the most common recent questions on the Flow 8. The interest in this little mixer has been way more than I ever expected. So thanks for watching, and please do leave any questions you've got in the comments here so they can be answered next. That's all for now.